of it. But I know that, yeah, it's designed to basically give the same sort of rush of, I don't know, like life force or enlightenment or something like that.
Kundalini.
Gosh, isn't that a buzzword too?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I know. I actually had a girl once say to me, oh, it's the only man I've been with who like made my Kundalini just bubble, like rise. I'm like, no, that's called getting the horn, you fucking idiot. I mean, you know, think of Kundalini as a more refined version of sexual energy, but they get it mixed up or it can wind in with sexual energy. That's what they try and make it do because it's easier for them to siphon off. But anyway, what I'm talking about is monoatomic gold, Ormus. Because, you know, like in a lot of these spiritual circles, it's like all good Annunaki can't do it by themselves. They need a fucking, you know, help. But this whole thing, SOMA, Ormus, all that, it's going to make you, you know, tune to the next dimension. David Wolf used to call Ormus fourth dimensional minerals. Yeah, maybe. But, of course, then we're talking dimensions. A lot of dimensions, but part of the fucking matrix. So,
yeah,
you can have your fourth dimensional gold on that one. So, I mean, you know, I do notice for myself, if I intake good shit, I have a better experience. My hedonism has to be quelled.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, if you can give up inorganics, I can give up fucking, you know, wine every night.
The occasional indulgence.
Yeah. You know.
Well, like, with the wine is not so bad.
Well, it's more, you know, everybody has their degree. If it's something that they're doing that's not good for them. So it's not that wine's not good for me, but it's that a lot of, like, consecutive nights on it's not fucking good for me. You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I dig that.
Watch that. What I'm trying to say is Daniel's question, right? So Daniel's question is all about taking supplements in the sense of taking monatomic gold, bee pollens, that sort of thing, which are high in this Ormus. And Ormus is like supposedly supposed to get you over the edge, you know. It's like, oh, take the Ormus and the high spin rate, you know, ascension is nigh. Yeah. And I remember, I mean, there's different ways to make monoatomic gold or Ormus. Some of it involves seawater. Some of it involves chemical interaction. Look, whatever. Mainline it from Moo, for fuck's sake. I mean, seriously, I'm so over everybody having to go outside of themselves.
Yeah, I totally get where you're at. With what I rewatched, Peniel's the Stargated to the SOMA again, and it's very brain. It really is like just a chemical reaction. When I feel what it's like to mainline Moo, using that terminology. Yeah, it's
mainlining Moo self-generated. This is not. It can never be self-generated. Just like a cocaine hit can't be self-generated. It's a cocaine hit. Nothing else. You know?
It really, really is. It's very, very fleeting, and it's I wouldn't say it's inorganic, but it is inorganic in comparison to the self-generating.
That's how inorganics get the bliss technique, get the rush. This is the point. It's so like popular. I'm hearing at the moment. I've been on my internet diet. It's been fabulous, but I'm hearing at the moment because I have still you know, the feed that comes to me on the YouTube channel. One of them's with your boyfriend from Buzzsaw.
Oh, yes.
And I watched 2 of his things in my diet interim. So I wasn't completely, you know, internet free. I did watch his 2 things. And one of them was Dan Winter. And the other one was this guy, Seth, but I don't know. He looked like the guard of the 7/7 fucking circle of hell. Like, Jesus.
Is that the guy with the nose ring?
He had the same kind of charisma that Charles Manson would have had, in my opinion.
Oh, right.
No, I mean, seriously. Like, my first thing when I saw him was repulsion. I just went, what the fuck's running him? And then I had to look further. And the guy was very genuine in the sense that this is his experience, etc. Then the same day I was with Dan Winter, and he had like, what I'm noticing is all these guys that are coming out with Annunaki, Enki and Enlil, they're all Annunaki. That's their soul tribe. That's their soul, that's their connection, right? It's like the Enki and Enlil is totally their creation story. Love it, dig it, great. Annunaki. Our creation story is far more like the mythos of Mu, is a far cry from anything in that arena. So when I hear them fucking, Enki, Enlil, I'm like, oh, hello, compromise, what's happening? I'm not discounting their experiences, but what they're connecting with. In the fourth dimension and the fifth dimension. Yeah, inside the fucking matrix. I mean, my other favourite,
I get ya.
Time travel. There is only time in the matrix. Therefore, time travel only happens within the matrix. You get out of the matrix, it's all now.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say that through wisdom experience. It might sound like a cliche, but I've actually experienced that. Because it's all now.
Well,
it can take any moment in time.
It's a very, very different experience from the organic timeline and the matrix.
I mean,
very.
They all want to get out of the matrix, but where to? The fifth dimension, inside the matrix? All you need to do is get that fucking shit out of your brain and reconnect to the consciousness of the organic no timeline and disconnect from this inorganic fucking bullshit world. And I mean, it's doable. It's fucking doable.
I don't think people really can comprehend exactly what is involved in the matrix. I mean, unless, I didn't even fully get how much of the matrix is the matrix until I connected to the organic timeline and realized how all-encompassing the matrix can be. So I think that you have to have an experience of what it is to be in the non-organic in order to realize how everything is so matrixy that we see and that we discuss.
I mean, I dig it, but really, from my experience, the organic no timeline is something that you can only reach in integrity and as an organic.
Oh, so that means that probably there's a considerable amount of the global population that will never actually be able to fully experience the organic.
Well, define population.
Physical human beings, not necessarily those connected
Well, define human being, because there's a lot of them out there that are clones, that are run by someone else's DNA. There's a lot of them out there that are holograms, that aren't even fucking living, but they look there. It's like define. So you could say the population as in who they take in a census. I don't know. But that's the point. That's part of the illusion.
That is very true. So even, okay, yeah. No, that's
Do you know that supposedly a meteor crashed into the Atlantic Ocean last week? That was almost an extinct, well, in some cases they were saying it was a possible extinction level event.
Really? I did not know that.
That's the point. It wasn't in your reality, was it?
No. Did they report that on mainstream news or?
No, I don't watch mainstream news. You'd have to tell me.
No, neither do I. Because
I saw it that just very briefly flash across a lot of feeds on the internet, and probably in the next week there'll be videos on it because people make videos on that sort of thing. But because I'm still on my diet, I won't be really worrying about it. Being gone, done, no thanks. Not in my world.